There once was an ancient oak tree in a small village that survived for over 300 years, while other trees withered away after just decades. The villagers were mystified by its endurance. Some believed it was blessed by spirits. Others thought it had discovered magical soil. But a wise gardener observed something simple yet profound. The oak's roots had found a natural spring that provided consistent nourishment, while its position protected it from harsh elements without completely sheltering it from challenges that strengthened its core. Good morning, friends. This oak tree reminds us that longevity isn't about miracles or expensive elixirs. Nature has already provided everything we need. I've watched countless individuals reach their 90s and beyond with remarkable vitality, and they share something in common with that ancient oak. They nourish themselves with simple, consistent sources of strength. Take Maria, who recently celebrated her 102nd birthday in a small Mediterranean village. When visitors ask for her secret, they're often disappointed by the simplicity of her answer. No expensive supplements, no complicated regimens, just a handful of natural foods that have been her faithful companions throughout life. Today, let's explore 5 humble foods that grace the tables of the longest-lived people around the world. These aren't exotic ingredients requiring special trips to fancy stores. These are basic offerings from the earth that have sustained human beings for generations. What if the fountain of youth isn't a fountain at all, but rather a plate filled with nature's wisdom? Let's discover what's on it. Food. 1. Oats, the patient guardian. Consider Joseph, a 98-year-old farmer who still tends his small garden each morning. For nearly 7 decades, his day has begun with a humble bowl of oats. These simple grains, he often says, have been more faithful than any medicine. Joseph's story isn't unique. Throughout history, communities with exceptional longevity have incorporated these humble grains into their daily rituals. These unassuming oats might not look extraordinary, but they've been breakfast companions to generations of long-lived individuals. A fascinating pattern emerges among elderly patients who regularly consume oatmeal. They often maintain healthier hearts well into their 9th and 10th decades. Science has now confirmed what traditional wisdom has known for centuries. Oats work silently within the body, like a diligent caretaker sweeping away excess cholesterol that can clog arteries. Their soluble fiber, particularly beta-glucan, helps maintain healthy blood pressure and supports heart function even as the years accumulate. But oats teach another valuable lesson about longevity: the power of consistency. They release their energy slowly, keeping blood sugar steady, avoiding those dramatic peaks and valleys that accelerate aging. The centenarians of Okinawa, Japan, prepare their oats simply. Soaked overnight with a splash of water, topped with seasonal fruit. This patience, allowing the oats to soften naturally overnight, mirrors how we should approach life itself, without rushing, allowing processes to unfold in their own time. Remember, in both nutrition and life, the steadfast and humble often outlast the flashy and complicated. Food. 2. Olive oil, liquid gold for longevity. In the hills of Crete stands an olive tree that's over 3,000 years old. It was already ancient when Aristotle was born, and it continues to bear fruit. Its gnarled trunk reminds visitors that true strength often comes wrapped in gentleness. Elena, a vibrant 96-year-old from a small Greek village, credits her daily tablespoon of olive oil as her most treasured health ritual. Her family has pressed their own olive oil for generations, using it not as an occasional luxury, but as a daily necessity. The elders of Mediterranean communities have long understood what modern research now confirms. This precious oil protects the heart, supports brain health, and helps tame the flames of inflammation that accelerate aging. The longest-lived populations use olive oil liberally, but also mindfully. A drizzle over steamed vegetables, a splash in morning soup, or simply with a piece of whole grain bread. Its monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidants, particularly oleocanthal and oleuropein, work silently to protect cells from the oxidative damage that comes with age. The most insightful lesson from these Mediterranean elders isn't just about the oil itself, but about their approach to meals. Never rushed, but savored. Food not as mere fuel, but a celebration of what the earth provides. When selecting olive oil, the wisest elders look for extra virgin varieties with a slight bitterness. This indicates the presence of those protective compounds. They store it away from light and heat. As wisdom too must be protected to maintain its potency. Food. 3. Eggs. Nature's perfect package. There's a woman named Sophia living in a mountain village who recently turned 104. Each morning for nearly a century, she has collected eggs from her hens, a ritual connecting her to the rhythm of nature. When asked about nutritional fads that have come and gone, she simply smiles. The egg, she says, has been perfectly designed. Who am I to question such wisdom? Sophia's intuition reflects a fascinating pattern. Eggs have been celebrated, then feared, and now rightfully restored to their place of honor in longevity diets around the world. The longest-lived individuals understand that eggs provide one of the most complete proteins available, containing all 9 essential amino acids the body needs but cannot produce. This protein becomes increasingly critical with age, helping to preserve muscle mass that naturally diminishes with time. The centenarians of Nicoya, Costa Rica, particularly value the yolk, understanding that it contains lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 powerful allies for eye health that help protect against age-related macular degeneration. The choline in egg yolks supports brain health and memory function, while the naturally occurring vitamin D strengthens bones that might otherwise become fragile. Anna, a 99-year-old former teacher, often says that how you cook an egg reveals much about your approach to life. Do you rush and fry on high heat, she asks, or take the time to poach it gently, preserving its nutrients and delicate flavor? The choices we make in small things often reflect our larger approach to living and aging. The most vital elders often enjoy eggs simply soft-boiled, with a sprinkle of herbs from their gardens. Simple preparation frequently yields the greatest nourishment. Food. 4. Berries, small treasures of resilience. In a remote Scandinavian village lives a community with an unusual number of vibrant nonagenarians. Each summer morning, these elders can be found gathering wild berries, blueberries, blackberries, lingonberries, their fingers stained with vibrant colors that signal remarkable power to protect cells from damage. Thomas, who recently celebrated his 97th birthday, has studied the nutritional habits of long-lived populations for decades. Notice, he points out, how the longest-lived cultures incorporate berries not as occasional treats, but as daily staples. These communities recognize that berries contain some of the highest concentrations of antioxidants found in any food. These compounds, anthocyanins, quercetin, and ellagic acid, help combat the free radicals that damage cells and accelerate aging. They're particularly protective of brain cells, which is why research suggests regular berry consumption may help preserve cognitive function with advancing age. Beyond their antioxidant content, berries offer wisdom through their balance, low in sugar but high in fiber, making them kind to blood sugar levels. Another key to aging gracefully. There's profound insight in these tiny fruits that thrive in harsh conditions. The same compounds that protect berries from environmental stress protect human bodies too. This is nature's elegant design. The resilience of these plants becomes our resilience when we consume them. The oldest individuals in blue zones enjoy a handful of fresh berries daily when in season, and rely on frozen berries during winter months. Sometimes, the simplest treasures are the most valuable, requiring no elaborate preparations to bestow their gifts. Food. 5. Nuts. Wisdom in small packages. In the mountainous region of Hunza, famous for its long-lived residents, there's a tradition of planting a walnut tree at the birth of a child. The elders say, by the time the child is old enough to understand, the tree will be providing wisdom. This tradition contains profound nutritional insight. The world's healthiest centenarians keep a small assortment of nuts, walnuts, almonds, Brazil nuts, and others as daily companions on their journey through the decades. Roberto, a lively 101-year-old from Sardinia, carries walnuts in his pocket, eating a few throughout the day. These are brain food, he explains, pointing to how their shape resembles the human brain. Modern science confirms his traditional wisdom. Walnuts are particularly rich in omega-3 fatty acids that support brain health. In Japan's Okinawa, almonds are treasured for their vitamin E content, which protects cells from oxidative damage. The indigenous elders of Brazil have long understood that just one Brazil nut provides all the selenium the body needs for the day, a mineral crucial for thyroid function and natural antioxidant systems. Across cultures, studies consistently show that regular nut consumption is associated with longer lifespan and reduced risk of heart disease. Their healthy fats and protein help the body feel satisfied, while their fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria, an aspect of health we're only beginning to fully appreciate. The wisest elders practice an important principle with nuts: the power of moderation. A small amount provides tremendous benefits, while overconsumption leads to imbalance. The longest-lived limit themselves to a small handful daily, about an ounce, savoring each one fully. Many traditional cultures soak their nuts overnight in water with a pinch of salt. This ancient practice makes their nutrients more accessible and easier to digest. A reminder that sometimes preparation and patience enhance what nature has already made perfect. The 5 foods we've explored, oats, olive oil, eggs, berries, and nuts, appear consistently on the tables of those who have gracefully journeyed into their 10th and 11th decades. These foods have nourished not just their bodies, but taught valuable lessons about living well, the importance of consistency, the power of simplicity, the wisdom of traditional ways, and the healing potential of what grows naturally. Yet perhaps the most important insight from these vibrant elders isn't just what they eat, but how they approach food altogether. For them, each meal is a moment of gratitude, a recognition of the innumerable connections between the earth, the sun, the rain, and their own existence. You won't find centenarians counting calories or obsessing over the latest nutrition trends. Instead, they listen to the ancient wisdom of their bodies and the guidance that nature provides through changing seasons. Remember that longevity isn't merely about extending life, it's about maintaining its quality, its joy, and its meaning. These foods support that journey, but they're most effective when combined with movement, purpose, community, and peace of mind. Consider incorporating these 5 simple foods into your daily routine, not as a rigid prescription, but as an experiment in nourishing yourself more deeply. Your body has an innate wisdom. When you provide it with what it truly needs, it responds with remarkable resilience. Until our next conversation in the garden, may your days be nourished, your heart be light, and your spirit remain curious.